Welcome back, guys. Equity Podcast. Coach Berek here with special guest appearance by Coach Michelle.
Yay! Hi, guys.
Equity Podcast, where we give you the tools to be fit for life. So today we're talking about 5 tips to stay on track during the holiday season. Halloween is just around the corner, and all the parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Friendsgiving. Honestly, we probably should have done this in September because the amount of birthday parties I've been to has been crazy. And that's what kind of was like, hey, we need to do this now. I had 2 birthday parties in 2 days. So
Lots of cake.
Lots of cake. And I know how to eat cake efficiently as well.
Yes. I've witnessed that. Yes, very good at it.
All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes, pun intended. Or is that a pun?
Yeah.
Play on words?
Sure.
Play on words
We'll go
intended.
with that.
All right, so what's our number 1 tip?
Number 1 tip I would say is just eat your regular food during the day. I know a lot of times at Thanksgiving we might be like, I'm not going to eat all day, and then we're going to gorge ourselves at our meal, and that's sometimes not really the best plan because it generally doesn't work out. We end up feeling crappy anyway. So definitely just have your regular breakfast, regular lunch.
Yeah. I think I actually I try to do the opposite where I don't eat, like I didn't eat, just because I know I'm going to eat a little bit. It's not so I can gorge more. It's just so like I get my regular amount in, but then I just end up eating more. I think what it ends up doing is my meal might be small, but I end up doing more grazing. So by eating those regular meals, I have a tendency to not do as much of the appetizer stuff.
Right, because you're going in.
Right, I'm already kind of full.
Yeah, you're already.
Right,
seeing
and then if I do end up grazing, I actually don't want to do that, but then I end up not eating as much later. But ideally, we're eating real food and not eating like grazing food that's out there for.
Agree. Yes.
For that.
Yeah.
So I really like that, and it can be really hard, but just make sure you get normal food, right? Your regular plan, right?
Regular old breakfast, regular old lunch,
Yep.
and then just go in, just knowing that you're going to have, some kind of regular, dinner. Hopefully, you can only overeat as much because you'll already be you'll have that satiety factor. You'll already feel full.
All right. So what about number 2?
Number 2 is have a plan. Really just kind of sort of give yourself a little bit of grace. With this is most of these things are one meal, not even like a whole weekend, a whole week, a whole day. It's literally just one meal. So just kind of be thinking about ways to say, okay, now this is one meal. We've kind of eaten our breakfast, we've eaten our lunch. Now how are we going to move forward and be successful actually at the event so that we don't feel bad about ourselves the next day?
I find if I kind of forgot there was a party, but I've never done that. It was on the schedule and Bear forgot it was happening. That never happens. But on occasion, if it ever did happen, if I just happen to go to something and I didn't even consider what was happening, I generally eat very poorly. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I'm like, all right, I'm going to the holiday party, and all right, I'm eating my meals, and just like, all right, when I go there, I'm gonna go over the steps we're gonna talk about later, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm gonna do when I get there. I'm not gonna appetize. I'm gonna eat a plate. I'm gonna have this many drinks, and like having this number of things, having that plan beforehand can really set you up instead of like, we'll figure it out.
Let it happen.
Right?
Yeah, and I think that sort of understanding kind of some of those basic nutrition tips, you want to try to get a protein in there, you want to try to sort of come up with some kind of volume carbs while you're making your plate. And I think that if you can kind of be thinking about what types of food is going to be available, and if you know you're going someplace where that type of food is not going to be available, then you're just going to have to do the best that you can. It's one meal.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're just throwing all of your plans the whole year out the window because they didn't have anything that you felt like was going to be the right choice to eat.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to give yourself a little grace there too.
It's like planning for your week. Like if you don't plan your week out, like what are you probably going to be eating?
Pats.
Not things that are great. Whereas if you have a plan from the week, even if it's not made or prepped, even if you just think about it, it's like, all right, I think I have chicken in there. I'll do that tonight. Like that's going to set you up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So we haven't even gotten to the party yet.
No, we're not there yet. I think we might be in the car.
Right.
I think we're in the car.
2 tips.
Thinking about it.
And we're not even at the party yet. And that shows you this is how nutrition works, right?
Yep.
It's we got to think about it beforehand. So what's our third? We're actually at the party now, right?
Okay, we went to the party. We've already had our breakfast and our lunch, and we're ready to go. We're gonna have one plate. We're gonna go up. We're gonna go up. We're gonna have one plate of our meal, and we're gonna have one plate of dessert. Not a heaping tall plate of dessert. Although I can do some dessert Jenga if necessary.
Yeah, right.
But we're really gonna try to think about having that one plate. We're gonna try not to position ourselves near the buffet or near the bar where all the food is, where the peanut M&Ms might be.
Yeah.
We're not going to position ourselves in the area where all the food is. We're going to take that plate and we're going to go and we're going to sit down and we're going to enjoy our meal.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm gonna come in, eat what you're gonna eat, but it has to be on one plate. No seconds, no grazing. Stay away from the Doritos that just like I'm all right, I'm just gonna have one. I'm just gonna have one. It doesn't happen.
Impossible.
It doesn't happen. So stay to your plate and keep away from that
I
gravy.
like any kind of Edo, so I try to avoid the Edos.
Yeah. Number 3. All right. So number 4.
Number 4. I mean I hope we don't contradict ourselves here, but eat what you enjoy and enjoy it while you're eating it.
Yeah.
So if you get to the party and I'm gonna make Berek mad, and they have a whole tray of oatmeal cookies or oatmeal raisin cookies, and you don't like oatmeal raisin cookies, then don't eat that.
Yeah.
Try to find something that you actually will really enjoy, and take the time to enjoy it. I like chocolate chip cookies. Love to have a chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna take that cookie and I'm gonna eat the heck out of it. The cookie, not the whole tray of cookies. So, if you find that you're at a party and they're like, oh, they got food I really like here, or they have a dessert that I really like, plan for that. Think about it and account for it.
Yeah. If you don't love that thing, if you don't enjoy it, like really, really enjoy it, like don't eat that thing.
Don't eat oatmeal raisin cookies.
Right? Don't eat that thing that is really good, but it's like, it's fine. Like
Right.
it's fine. Don't eat that thing.
Yeah, agreed.
But you get some coconut cake.
Oh, we're gonna have that.
And I'm gonna take my time with that because I don't get that a lot.
Good time. Might be looking for that corner piece.
Yeah.
A little extra frosting.
Our final tip is probably what most people struggle with. Maybe not most, but I think a lot of people struggle with this one, and that is
alcohol. One of the things that we think about a lot is alcohol in general, and of course, if you don't drink, then this won't be an issue for you at all. But if you are a drinker, some of these other tips can go out the window. So obviously, enjoying alcohol in that moderation is probably the best plan if you are really working towards your nutrition goals. So one of the things that you could do is just don't finish your nth drink. So if you've had 1 or 2 drinks and you're starting on that third, don't plan to not finish that drink. Just hang on to it. You don't have to worry about finishing that drink. The other thing that I would also suggest is to run a tank of water through. So if you have a drink, glass of wine, a Manhattan, whatever, run a tank of water, not 2 sips of water, an actual glass of water through each way. And of course that water is going to help fill you up, and it's going to help you stay hydrated too.
I think and she said nth, and like that third, like we talked about planning, have a plan before. One plate, and then how many drinks are you going to have that night, right? Have that number in your head before you go, and stick to that number, right? So if it's 5, that's fine. It's fine. Do 5, but don't finish that 5th drink. Right? Part of it is, that just not finishing it, so you still have something in your hand. People, you won't have that pressure, that peer pressure to drink if you have something in your hand, and that can be really, really helpful for a lot of people. I know it helps me a lot, especially setting that numbers really helps me. Be like, hey, I'm having 2 drinks and that's it. And whereas if I don't go in with a plan, all of a sudden 2 turns into 4.
Oh, yeah. Quick.
And then all of a sudden I don't sleep well. I sleep in till
8:30.
And
then it wrecks
wrecks the whole next day
as well. So that party, that one.
Welcome back from our commercial break. How about just a quick rundown of the 5?
Yeah, absolutely. So our tips were eat your regular meal. So go in, have your breakfast, regular old lunch. Number 2, have a plan for when you get to the party. You know, just sort of understanding that it's just one meal. Give yourself a little bit of grace, but certainly have a plan as you're going, as you're in the car, be thinking about it. Now we're at the party. We're going to have one plate. We're going to have one plate of our meal. We're going to have one plate of our dessert. We're going to try to avoid positioning ourselves near the buffet or all the extra food, so we're not going to be constantly sort of grazing the whole time. We're going to eat what we enjoy. If they have something at the party that we really like, we're going to have some of that. We're going to have some of that, not the whole thing.
If they have bacon wrapped shrimp,
We're
I'm eating bacon
going
wrapped
in,
shrimp.
all the way in, absolutely. And then finally, we did talk a little bit about alcohol, so don't finish your nth drink. So if you have a plan, again, that's part of your plan. So I'm going to have 3 drinks. I'm not going to finish my 3rd drink. And then certainly run some water through.
Yeah, through it, yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that just popped into my head, you know, if we're not drinkers, and let's say we're going, you know, hey, we got soda, and I usually don't drink soda, we can use that same idea for like drinking
Eggnog,
calories,
those
right?
types of
Eggnog,
things, yeah,
hey, I'm
absolutely.
only going to have, you know, 2 of those because, you know, those calories add up really fast.
Right, absolutely. Liquid calories count too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it sets you up for success and helps you stay on track for your goals for this holiday season. Also, I want to thank Coach Michelle. This is her first time on the podcast, so she did great. Thank you for that. And I really appreciate you guys for checking us out. If you think this would help somebody, you know, in your circle, you know, share it with them. Let them know that you think this might help them.
And if you want more support during the holidays, let us know, because we do private nutrition coaching.
Yeah, that as
We're happy
well.
to help.
So thank you so much, and cheers.